First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer. How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tier Talk. My boy Michael Bertauer is going to come on the show. He recently did an article about the dangers of mandating officers to work overtime. We're talking about those officers that are working 2, 3, 4 doubles in a row. And we're talking about the dangers that not only does it present to the officer's health and well-being, but also the dangers it presents to the facility and ultimately the cost on the taxpayers, when it comes to the amount of overtime. He did a great article. I've actually discussed this topic before, but I really want to get his perspective. I'm going to put a link to the article below. I want you guys to check on this article. But when we come back from our sponsors, I'm going to give you a little bit about my perspective. Again, it's something that we touched on before, but definitely worth touching on again. And then tune in either tomorrow or Sunday, and I'll give you his video talking about the article and the dangers of that mandated overtime. Now, guys, if you haven't, the show is for you. You brave men and women that work in corrections. So please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. I stand by for our sponsor.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsor. So again, my boy Michael Bertauer is going to come on tomorrow. We've seen him on the show before. We've talked about transformational leadership. He's given some advice. He used to be a former administrator, and now he is on the education side of the criminal justice system. And he really does devote his time to helping us understand the profession from both experiences, from academia side of things and also from having that experience in the profession. I think it's a great perspective that really balances how we see things, both from the outside and from the inside. So he wrote a great article on the dangers of that mandated overtime. And we know it's a concern nationally right now because we know that we have facilities that are severely understaffed and there's these posts that need to be covered. And to keep things as safe and secure, management will put people in those positions that they're exhausted, they're tired, and I always say it's about looking for quantity as opposed to quality. Yeah, we got the person in the position, sure, the post is filled, but is that person able to do the job? And the thing about the mandated overtime is, first off, we're human. I mean, how many days in a row can we actually do those type of hours? And we're looking at, in some cases, 16-hour days, 2, 3, 4 times a week, consecutive. So obviously that takes a toll on one's body. And the problem is, even though you don't feel right, you're being forced to work. And then you could tell maybe your boss says, hey, listen, I just don't feel right. I'm tired. This is my 3rd double in a row. And I just don't feel up to it. Well, it doesn't matter. You have to stay. You knew the job you were taking. Right? At that interview process, what were you asked? Are you willing to work any shift? Are you willing to work needed overtime? And of course, we say yes because we want that job, but we don't realize exactly how much that overtime may be until we're actually in those positions. So you get these people that are tired, again, 2nd, 3rd, 4th doubles in a row, and they're just not physically there. And the problem is one thing is, if they don't do their job correctly, besides the fact that they're a threat to safety and security at this point because they're just not functioning at 100%, so they're bound to make mistakes. And in our world, we can't make little mistakes. Not even the smallest mistake. We have to be on point 100% of the time. So the problem is not only do they cause a risk to the facility, which is the bigger end of it all, but they're going to get disciplined. They're going to get disciplined for if they turn down the mandated overtime, or if they're physically tired and they just can't handle the overtime, they're going to get disciplined for not being able to do the job that's expected of them in that position. But there are people that are having trouble to stay awake because, again, the amount of hours that they put in. It's also a concern, and Mike will mention in his video tomorrow, and it kind of goes along with the article that I put in the description, is the home life. Your schedule becomes so unpredictable that you really can't make plans. And your family, they don't understand that. If you have little kids, they definitely don't understand it. So there's chances that you're missing out on major events, milestones in your family's life, and that takes a toll on you, because one day you're looking at those pictures and you're not in any of them, or that takes a toll on your family who's just wants you there, and you're trying to explain to them why you can't be there, but they don't understand it. They don't. And the problem is your ability to plan things with them becomes so unpredictable, and then you become a person that can't fulfill promises anymore. And it's not your fault, it's the job. But at the end of the day, your family starts to lose that sense of trust in you, that daddy or mommy is going to be there. But daddy and mommy can't make those promises anymore. Imagine those big events that you want to tell your kids you're going to be at. And you want to be there, the graduations, the birthday parties, the weddings, whatever the case may be. And all of a sudden, you can't make that promise because you don't know if you're going to be able to come home from work that night. That's how unpredictable your schedule is. So I just can't imagine having to be that type of officer where I'm coming in only to do 8 hours, but in the back of my mind, I could easily get stuck every night for 12, 16 hours, multiple nights in a row. It makes people not want to come to work the next day. So I'm sure there's going to be that abuse of sick time, and really, is it abusing their sick time? No. I mean, they're tired. They're working so many days in a row. They also talked about, obviously we talked about the mental health of that all, not getting that sleep and being irritable. I mean, imagine that, guys. You're not getting all that sleep, the sleep that you need to function, and then now you're irritable and you're working around inmates. You could see right there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem because you're irritable. Every little thing's going to get to you, and really, if that's the case, you're putting everybody at risk because you're going to have an officer that's not only just not physically able to do the job at this point, but they're irritable. They're irritable, and God knows what that's going to stir up. We also talked about the cost on taxpayers. It's right in the article, the overtime, how much we're paying out. So what Mike did was Mike drew a very good picture of this mandated overtime and the dangers that it presents on multiple levels. We're not just talking about the individual. We're not just talking about the facility. We're talking about how the public can be affected, both money-wise, safety-wise. So it's a very well-rounded article that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I wanted Mike to come on and discuss what we just discussed now, but he'll be more in-depth with it. I mean, he'll talk about the concerns a little bit more involved. And I think that it was a great article. Mike, thank you for putting it out there, because a lot of people don't know what it's like to have to deal with that mandated overtime and the negative consequences of what's the outcome of that. But again, I thought it was a great article, and of course we're talking about staffing, so do we have to offer more to get the amount of people that we need? Yes. Do we have to have more respect for this profession? Yes. We need people that want to be in this job. We need people that want to be effective. We need the right professionals, which means that we're going to have the right incentives. But because we don't have the right incentives, and this, even though it's supposed to be a competitive job where you want to have the right people, so you want the best for the job, it's not competitive because we're not offering anything to make it competitive. Anytime another job comes up, they get it. I'll go to the other job because whatever they're offering corrections, it's just, I don't want it. I want this because this offers more. So again, it's just a matter of we have to get the right incentive to get the right people in the job. But it's not even just about the quality. It is about the amount of people we need to be effective on our shifts. So again, I thought it was a great article. I would love you guys to check it out. The description's in the link. And then I'll have Mike on either tomorrow night or Sunday, and then you'll hear his perspective. But I really do think it's a great article to get out there. I think it will really highlight exactly what it is for us when we're going through that overtime that we just didn't expect. We expect to have a life, and unfortunately, the commitment to the job becomes so overwhelming. And that's a lot of reasons why people quit, because they can't find the balance no matter how hard they try between work and home. As always, guys, the show is here. Tune into that video tomorrow. I think you guys will enjoy it. And guys, if you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post a video. All right, guys, stay safe.